to episode 5 of Who Knows?
Who knows what we're going to talk about today?
Who knows? Who knows?
I just want to start off by saying that I've been a little sick for the past, week or two, and I'm just, coming out of it these past few days, so if I'm, coughing or anything like that, that's why. So just...
Yeah. But your voice is back. It's good.
Yeah, but it gets a little raspy and stuff still, so I don't know. But
yeah,
I'll
true.
try my best. Anyway.
But otherwise, how you doing?
Good. It's so much going on around the house. We're moving and we have people coming over, and then we've got things that we're trying to do with the podcast, and then things with my work, and it's just a lot going on. So it's it's weird because it's both let's do it, it's exciting, and then it's also this is so exhausting.
You took the words out of my mind. I was so exciting and so exhausting at the same time.
It's it's such an up and down wave of excitement, and then it's just I can't move because I'm so tired. The other day, all three of us had a day where we were just our brains aren't working today.
Yeah.
We can't do anything.
But I hear it from other people as well. They're very tired and they don't really know why.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, Mercury just came out of retrograde, so
Thank
it's
God
also
for that.
kind of a release of that, and it's oh, finally, we can relax. You know?
Yeah.
So that might be it, but yeah, I don't think our house has ever been this busy, at least as far as I remember. In my life, it's it's never been this much going on at the same time in such a short time period.
Yeah. So wrap it up for you that are listening. We are moving house here in Bali. And we're actually moving coast as well. So we're moving from the west coast to the east coast, which sounds very drastic, but here it's only 40-minute drive, but still it's a big. So we have taken on a house that needs a huge renovation makeover.
We're basically building it ground up. But we've got a little
we've got a roof.
We've got
and
the skeleton
floor
of the house,
yeah.
but then it's just completely
yeah.
destroyed, and
bathroom,
cables
yeah.
and broken walls,
electricity,
everywhere.
yeah.
So it's not just oh, we'll pack our stuff in and then we move.
No.
It's we gotta plan out the color of the walls, where we want windows, where this, legit everything in the house.
A lot of decisions.
And it's all of this has to be done within 3 weeks so we can actually move into the house. So it's
but it's moving forward very fast, and it's fun at the same time. A
But
little bit
it's
overwhelming and exhausted, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I wake up between 4 and 5 every morning with colors and kitchen taps and shower. Oh, yeah.
It's all of that in your head.
Yeah.
You wake up, it's oh my god, the shower.
But I'm up early normally anyway, but waking up at 4 and 5, I think it's a tad early for me as well, because then I'm 8 o'clock, I go, oh, I need to go to sleep. But yeah. 4:44, I woke up this morning. Angel numbers. Yeah, but I do feel we got them on our side, because it's going very smooth with this renovation so far, which is amazing. I can't wait to move in, actually. So, enough of that now. So we're all doing good. Excited, creative, and exhausted. That's okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about limiting beliefs and what you think about that.
Yeah, and I said that I have kind of a very small idea as to what it is, but not really in a bigger picture. So I thought that maybe you could explain to me and the viewers, for those who don't know.
Okay. Listeners, maybe. Nobody's viewing
us.
us.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, by the way, we we have, yeah, we need to do, because we're releasing this on YouTube, and we've been
Yeah.
talking about we need to do an intro video, which is actually there now when you're listening to this. But my God, how are we gonna do this? And
Yeah,
yeah.
there's so much.
But anyway, it turned out okay. So limiting beliefs is. Let me give you an example. Okay, for me, I can take it personally then. I've been brought up with very, very young parents. They were teenagers. And we weren't poor in the way that we were living on the street and didn't have food or anything. But my mom was 24 and then already had 3 kids. She got me when she was 16. Well, just turned 17. So growing up, hearing from my parents all the time, how we're going to pay the electricity bill, how we're going to pay that, it then enters in me a kind of limiting beliefs of scarcity. Do you know what that is? It's a limiting beliefs that you haven't got enough. You haven't got enough, even though you have food, you have water, you have a bed, but you haven't got enough.
Worry.
There's always that, oh, I haven't got enough for that, I haven't got enough for that, and why haven't I got enough for that? Am I not worth it? Am I not good enough for it? Or there's lots of questions around that. So limiting beliefs, but that's just an example of a limiting belief that also blocks the flow of that in your life. So I
see, it's interesting because it's like you call that limiting belief, I call that trauma.
No, trauma is a different thing.
Not necessarily. Like, at least hearing like going to therapy and like explaining some things, and to me they're just like normal things, and she's like, no honey, that's trauma. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it can, like, because a lot...
But trauma sounds so drastic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, trauma sounds like you've gone to war and, like, PTSD and all these things. But trauma can be very, very little things. Like, for example, like, I don't know, when you're small and, like, a rabbit goes a little crazy in your hands, and from then on, like, you are terrified of rabbits, that's trauma. Or it's like, just like, it can be very, very small things, but that just stick with you for a long period of time.
But why do you have to label it trauma? I find it very exaggerated.
The word to me doesn't, like, you could call it, like, I don't know, like...
No, words are very important in my life.
Okay, well, not mine. So that's the thing, that you call them limited beliefs, but I call them trauma. Where it's like something...
Maybe that was a bad example then. I'll take another one.
No, but it's like something that has affected you that you still carry with you. Right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because a limiting belief can also be a program or conditioning from society.
Yeah.
Or the system, or the culture,
It's
or your religion.
That's like stopping you
from being your
whatever
100% authentic self. Yes. So, do you understand now? Yeah. Okay, so do you have any that you actually know of? I probably have, but when I look into it, I need for myself to let them go and release them, because otherwise I'm not 100% free in myself and in this world. So I've always looked deeply on my limiting beliefs, because I need to, if I don't think any new limiting beliefs, I hope, but would show up at the moment, because I'm old enough now to have dealt with the ones I've been programmed or conditioned or traumatized, like you say, to have.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I don't know, like, because to me, like, the way that limited beliefs sounds like, it just sounds like normal day-to-day, like, mental health stuff, at least for me, I don't know. So it's like one day it can be something like I don't know, like trying to make my inner child happy, and the next day it can be like I don't know, like time and like my memory loss and all that stuff. So it's like I don't know if that's what you mean by limited belief.
No, not at all, actually.
Okay.
Okay, I need to take another example, I
you
think.
said like something that's stopping you from becoming like your true like self or whatever. And like my true self, I don't think that like she has severe memory loss and like stuff
Right,
like that.
yes.
So it's like I don't know, my memory could be a limited belief. Or is I feel this is so confusing to me.
No.
Or is it a belief?
Yes, that's why it's called a limiting belief.
Yeah, well, I don't really believe I'm weird because I believe in like everything and nothing at the same time. So it's like I don't really have that issue of it. Like,
Okay, so have you got a belief that it's a little bit tricky to acknowledge them as well, because you might have them, myself included, without actually knowing that they're there.
I mean, awareness is the first step.
Yeah, for sure. But okay, okay, I'm gonna do a crazy example. So a limiting belief for somebody, this is not me now, I'm just doing like a crazy one, is what am I gonna give for example here? Okay, this is well, a limiting belief like this, but you can call this another thing as well. But walking under a ladder will kill me.
Yeah, like
It's I mean, this is extreme now.
Okay.
You know, but that's if that is really grounded in you, but that doesn't really stop you from living, obviously, because there's not a lot of ladders out there that you need to physically walk under. But just to give you an idea, more like easier, I guess.
I don't know, like at least not that I'm aware of. I don't have any. I don't think that like I care enough to have like a limited belief like that stops me from like becoming me or like living my day-to-day life that like that. I probably do have them or some that I'm not aware of, but you're looking at me like you know that you know all my secrets. I'm like, what do you know? No, I don't know, like, because it's weird. Like, I believe in everything and nothing, so it's like, with that in my mind, it's kind of like what I do believe in doesn't really exist, but it does. So it's like...
You are so confusing to me sometimes.
Dude, imagine being in my brain. You find this confusing?
No, I love you so much because you challenge my way of thinking. It's like, okay.
No, but it's like... Yeah, with that, like, mindset, I don't think that it kind of... With that mindset kind of comes, like, a lack of caring, I guess, but not for, like, people. I'm not, like, heartless, of course.
No.
But, like, a lack of caring of, like, the small things that would bother you usually on a day-to-day basis. So, like, yeah, like, things like the ladder or, like, this, like, childhood thing or whatever it is. I think that, like, I just don't care, I guess. Or, like, I've learned to detach myself from that, like, emotional connection to it. Or, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at least I'm not, like, aware of any that I have. Or I can't, like, think about, like, any that I have, at least right now.
No.
Do you think I have any?
Have
you noticed anything?
Well, I have to think there. Do you have any limiting beliefs?
Maybe you could
that
say like
limits you.
another one of yours, and then I could be like, oh yeah, I have something like that, or
Well, hopefully I haven't got a lot. You
well,
know,
I don't know.
I don't want to have any at all, actually.
Yeah.
So another limiting belief that I have. No, I mean, me and Dad are trying so hard on an actual daily basis to be, I don't know, trying to be true to ourselves. And we are watching ourselves and together as well, which is really annoying sometimes because he goes like, can we change the energy here today? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm just in a bad mood. No, I don't say it like that, but I feel it. Yeah, I feel so another limiting belief that I might have, what is that? Oh, yes. Okay, this one. This is quite heavy, and I think you will see this as trauma. I have had, because this is not true in me anymore, I have had for a long time, for many, many, many years, a limiting belief that I'm not smart enough. Because I hated school. I really, really hated school. I left when I was 15. That's the legal age you can leave school in Sweden. And ever since, and I went to school in a class with I was moving schools as well, but the last class I was going in high school, they were really on it, studying, and I thought, oh God, all the tests I cheated. Just to pass the test. I had written, in my hand just the answers and everything. So I passed with really low grades. Thank God for Mom and Dad, because they were like, no, it doesn't matter, But they tried, of course. So a limiting belief for me has been that I'm not smart enough to study. I'm not smart enough to go to university. I'm not smart. I haven't got that brain, which is not true at all. Because when I study what I love.
Yeah, like that's the thing, like with the school systems.
I just hated
like
the
that.
School system.
Yeah, so have I. Like my entire life. That's why, like, we homeschooled me for.
Yeah, and you
years.
picked up topics that we were like, really? Yeah. You want to learn this? And we're like, okay,
but
go.
But it's like, for example, like, this is the flaws, and it's not like a small flaw. It's like the biggest flaw on this planet is our school system, because it's raising new generations every day. And we're, like, pumping at this complete, like, garbage information into, like, who the fuck needs to know, like, Pythagoras theorem and, like, the inside
what is that?
It's math shit. It's like you're never.
I haven't got a math brain.
Yeah, but I
didn't even know that word. Say that word again.
Pythagoras theorem.
What is that? Do you even know what that is?
It's complete garbage. That's all I can say.
Not if you're a mathematician. I can't even say the word.
Yeah. No, but it's like, for example, like, I hate math with a passion. It's like my brain.
It's sad because you have such a good brain for it, though.
No, I do not. My brain shuts off with math.
It didn't when you tried school.
It didn't in school because I somehow, like.
I see you got it. You got grandmas.
I remember, like, in math class, like, I would just like, shut off my brain, and, like, my teacher would have to, like, snap at me to, like, focus, and I'd be like, dude, this does not make sense in my head. And oh my god, the most annoying thing, sorry, this is a thing that I'm very passionate about. The most annoying thing, and I think everyone on the planet can agree with this, is that when you get the answer right, but it's not the right way you did it, and they score wrong. Because you got the answer right, but the way you did it wasn't the right way. It's like, isn't the answer the goal here? It's like,
no, I can see what they mean there, actually.
Why?
But No, because you don't understand how
But the
all the
goal,
way
I
through.
got to the goal.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah,
It's like
that's
at
true.
least give me like half a point
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. True.
But it's like, anyway,
Yeah.
rant over.
Yeah, no, I no.
But the
That's why
school
we
system,
homeschooled you.
yeah,
Because
because
we
it's,
didn't want to. I didn't want to put you through what we put. Well, your brothers, but yeah. So going back to that limiting belief
yeah,
that I'm not smart enough, which is a complete
yeah,
nonsense. I'm very clever,
yeah,
but I've been living with that my entire life because I was so not good at the tests at school, and I didn't care.
yeah.
I was bored. I didn't care. Put me through. I liked art class, and I like
And it's like,
them.
let me ask you this question. Do you remember anything except for like plus, minus, and these things from school that you use today?
No.
No. This is like my point.
English.
Okay, but like that's like a
But
day-to-day
English,
thing.
then again, I didn't because I can't pick up languages from a book.
Yeah.
Both of us, you and me, we got good language here, but we pick it up from listening and
And
talking and
talking,
learning to
yeah.
like that, not from a book. It's like now we're learning Indonesian, and I struggle because I need to speak more with the locals. But going back to that limiting belief, that has really put. Now I was gonna say a saying in Swedish and direct translate it in English, and you can't do that.
Right.
It's like putting poles in the wheel. You can't say that.
God, Swedish makes me cringe.
No, no. But it has blocked me a little bit in life
Yeah.
because when I been around people that has had really high educations, been really smart, which is fascinating to me, and I love it, especially when there's in areas that is of interest for me, but it's a bit intimidating as well because
Yeah.
I'm like, bloody hell, they're smart.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then I'm feeling I'm not good enough,
Yeah.
which then rolls on to, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that limiting beliefs roll on to another limiting belief. So it has been so important for me to look at that and release it.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
know now I am smart enough, and thanks to Dad as well, because he's like, what are you talking about?
I think that intelligence is very subjective because, like,
Yeah.
one person could be like a fucking math genius and they're like, oh, I'm so stupid. And then another person could be absolutely terrible at math and they're like, dude, I'm a genius. So it's like, it's completely subjective, and it's also not about like the subject matter. Well, it is. It's like, for example, like I don't see myself as like bookmarks book smart, air quotes, because it's like I cannot just like sit and read a book and like learn from that, or
No,
like,
you're more practical smart,
yeah, and it's like I'm life smart, I'm spiritual smart,
which is as important.
if not more, I think, because it's like you're not gonna need like the fucking inside of a cell to help you in life. You need to learn how to do like taxes and drive a bike, it's like, but yeah, so it's like intelligence is like such an interesting thing, and like wisdom and like smartness or whatever, it's like they're all such weird things that like we put into boxes just to be able to understand them better, which we do with everything. But once you like learn to like open those boxes even just slightly, it's like it's insane the wide range of like what those words mean and how subjective they are and how like personalized they are. And it's, yeah, it's really fascinating with like intelligence and wisdom and things like that. So yeah, but like I remember I was the same in school, but like I I even today, it's like when I hang around with someone and they're like talking about some like genius shit, and I'm sitting there looking like a sloth who's like
But
out of the.
how do you feel though? Do you
I
feel
like it's
that you're not on the same level, or do you feel that you're not
it's like it's weird because like I'm very well aware that they are like smarter than me
in
in
that
that
area?
subject, in
Yes,
that subject. But
correct.
at the same time, I don't really care because like I don't want to learn that subject. But if it is something that it is like a subject that I do want to get
Yeah.
smarter in or whatever, air quotes, then I don't like put myself down. I'm like fascinated and I'm like
Mm.
asking so many
Mm.
questions. I'm like, okay, teach me because this
Mm.
is
Mm.
fascinating. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not like, oh well, I'm not like you. Like I don't. I never compare myself to people because I'm like that is such a
That is
waste.
so
It's
impressive. I
such a
used to do that
waste.
so much.
Same. And like that's why I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because I'm the one I'm gonna die with. I'm the one I'm gonna always be with. Always only got myself.
But can you honestly say that you never ever compare yourself with anybody?
I'm not.
Not
Not.
not like the person itself.
Yeah,
That's
no, I know what you
like
mean.
it could be shades of because we live in such a competitive world,
Yeah,
and we brought up in that. We've tried not to put that on you, but
yeah,
w- it's everywhere. The
yeah,
shows that you watch on whatever shows you're watching, the games you're playing. It's
yeah.
such a competitive. So that in itself, it's comparing who's better and worse.
I mean, like I wouldn't say I never compare myself. Like maybe every now and then, but every time that I do, I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. Like that's false. You
Yes.
know, because it's like,
Because
why
then you're
should
stepping
I?
into the program and stepping out of your higher self.
But it's also like, why should I compare myself to people? Like, my body is doing great at like doing what it's supposed to do, like carrying me. My brain, yeah, it's got a little bumps in the road, but you know, it's pretty fun to be in my brain. And it's like,
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
you know, like a lot of people have like body issues. I used to have like a lot of body issues. I used to hate my body. Now I'm like, you know what? It's doing a pretty good job at like keeping me
Yeah,
alive. So it's like,
miracles
why,
every day, and it's
like, why
beautiful.
should I hate the thing that I'm stuck with for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
You know, even if you're like, oh, like that person's prettier, it's like they're not prettier.
No.
They're pretty, so are you. It's like
Oh, I love you. I'm so proud of you when you talk like this.
no, but it's also like it's this like whole comparing thing in the world. It's so
Hurting.
geniusly
It's
designed.
so much hurting.
It's so geniusly designed
Yes.
to completely fuck up everyone's mental health.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like once you realize like all these like for example like this image issue thing because that's like the biggest like one that's known,
Yeah.
I guess. And it's like
I still have that programming.
yeah, and it's like once you realize that all these like supermodels and this that they are equally as insecure as you are, and
Yeah.
they also don't look like that. Like they are severely photoshopped. They are severely like blended and makeup and like all
Oh,
these
they're so
things
insecure,
and
and
Botox and
some of them,
surgeries,
yeah.
and it's like they don't. That's not what human bodies look like. And even now today, when the like model industry is like evolving or whatever, and they're bringing like plus size people in, these plus size people still have great curves. They still have this hourglass shape that everyone wants. What about these like rounder body shapes and things
That
like
are
that?
square, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like they're equally beautiful, but you're putting this hourglass shape because that's what you like. You're programming everyone to want, which is a pretty impossible body shape to actually get. And it's just like once you realize all this bullshit is going on, you like at least I was just like, you know what, this is so fucked up beyond belief that I am not gonna even think about this anymore. Like I'm dope in every way, so
You are.
I
You
should just
so are, my darling.
be me. you know? And
Yes.
if people don't like it, that's their problem. That's not my problem.
For sure. Listen up, teenagers. This
Everyone.
is the way.
It's not just teenagers. It's people from
No,
all
for sure.
ages.
Yeah. But I mean, teenagers these days go through a lot more than when I was a teenager because of the propaganda and the what am I call it? The tsunami of stuff in their hand, in the phone. I didn't have that.
And it's also like,
and I still had it.
I feel like as like during your teenage years, your brain is like a sponge to everything around you. I mean, your brain is a sponge to everything around you all the time. But like as a teenager, like going through like hormones and like all these emotional changes and this that and like drama and this that and adding on the entire fucking internet and all that shit on top of that, it's like
crazy.
Your brain can't help but just suck all that in, and it's so hard to like manage that because there's so much going on. But it's like I have this thing. Maybe this is a limited belief. I don't know. But I have this thing where, like, I'm not, like, putting the blame on, like, you and Dad or anything.
Go on, darling. It's okay. I can take it.
I'm not, like, blaming you guys at all because that's just, like, what you guys used to do and still do sometimes. But, like...
How do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Listen, that, like, you used to like not like belittle, but like you used to make like problems sound a lot smaller than they were. So it's like I've become aware that I do that sometimes, and like when I'm talking to people like with like mental health issues or things like that, and I'm trying to like help them or like support them in any way that I can, and I'm like, oh, this is what I just did. By saying just, it's like, it's easy as fuck. Like, come on,
that's why I mean, words are important.
Yeah, and this is, like, I've gotten this from you guys. So it's, like, it's a process that I can see us both going through, because I can see, like, your brain working sometimes when, like, I'm upset and you're, like, really focusing on what you're saying, and so that you don't say the wrong things, which I really appreciate.
Thank you.
And it's, but I don't know if that's a belittling belief.
Limiting belief.
Limiting belief. But it's a thing that I just, like, it just reminded me now, because I was saying, like, oh yeah, like, I just don't care, or like, I just did this, or I just did that. And it's like, it's not just, like, it's hard as fuck to go through some of these things and, like, learn them, but yeah, that's a thing. I don't know if that's a limiting belief or not, but
yeah, well,
not necessarily.
No. But do you think, is there anything that you see or have heard from your friends, like teenage friends or young friends, that their parents are doing or not doing around them?
What do you mean?
Well, because, I mean, if you look at, I have to put an example again. So, we were talking about body, you know, and how messed up that is in the world, and the propaganda is how you should look and everything like that. And I'm so happy that you are pleased in your body. I can't be happier than it. You know, that is so important, because the body is so important. I mean, to be in as well, more than the head. We need to be more in the body.
I mean, it's just like...
No, but hear me out then. I got a question.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
I'm just getting there. It takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
You're like, no, blah, blah. So I think, because I still have this limiting belief, or I don't think it's not a limiting belief, actually, it's more a conditioning now, or a programming.
Okay.
Because having teenage parents, good looking teenage parents as well.
Yeah.
because granddad and grandma, they were good looking kids, 17 and 18, 19 when I was born. And I remember going into a shop with my dad when I was 16, buying Levi jeans. And I was in the changing room, trying on the jeans. And I was calling him because he was out in the shop and really good looking girls working. And he's young, and I'm 16. And I call him and he's like, Dad. And he comes into the changing room and he's like, don't call me Dad in here. I'm like,
I mean, Grandpa's
what
like,
am I gonna
kind
call
of
you? You're my dad.
like,
no, but don't say that. But because
that's
he's
just
good
what I
looking and he's
think.
flirting then
Yeah,
with the girls in the shop. But coming back to the body, I forgot what it was. I forgot what. Hang on a minute.
That you were surrounded by like all these pretty girls.
No, because. I forgot. I forgot now. We were talking about what you were talking about. Yes, completely. Stressed. Not stressed actually, but too much creativity and exhausted at the same time, and waking up 4:44.
No, but it's interesting with like all these like body standards and things that like. I don't think that the body standards have necessarily become worse. I think they've always been pretty bad. Like, even if you look back at, like, the 1920s, like, the huge dresses, the massive, like, hairs, and, like, the tight as fuck corsets, and, like, the makeup and things like that. It's, like, that was considered beautiful in some areas, and then other areas, it's, like, oh, you gotta be, like, chunky and like monobrow and like things like that. It's weird, but I think that it seems worse in the modern day just because it's so in your face.
Yeah, all the time. Oh, I remember now what I was
There you go.
Yeah, so okay, Dad.
Yeah.
Very like, I've seen him look at good looking girls like
your
this.
dad?
My dad.
Okay.
Yes, your granddad.
Okay.
And then I've seen my mother and my grandmother, my mother's mother, struggling, going on diets, losing a few kilos, going back, not loving their body. So growing up like that, and I still have that on some, I don't, because when I was 18, I moved to Canada, Vancouver for 9 months, 10 months, and I gained 22 kilos, and I felt like a pig. I was so miserable in that body, but I know how it feels. Now, I like working out. I like have a strong body, but I still have that conditioning in my mind still that if I gain 5 kilos, I still have that.
Yeah,
and it's so messed up.
I've noticed that with you, that like you can be like you could have like eaten slightly more junk than you would usually on like a weekend, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna gain like 5 kilos tomorrow.
It's not.
I'm like, why do you care? It's like, enjoy yourself. It's like, you should stop thinking.
Because I don't feel, when I'm heavier, because I've been there, but also growing up with a mother who I love more than anything, and a grandmother, amazing. And both of them like to bake cookies and cinnamon rolls, and food is a lot around food, and they're eating, and they are not slim people, and grandmother is dead now, but mom, which is fine. It's not, it's fine. Of course, it's not healthy to be obese, but it's okay. But I still have that conditioning in my head, which is so, one part of my brain goes, oh, let's just, when I have one of them, just binge eat or whatever. But then again, I do love my veggies and salad as well. So lucky that I'm not really a sweet tooth, but it's interesting how loyal I am to my mother and great grandmothers way of thinking and
Yeah.
working around their bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this whole like body thing, it's weird because it circles around food. And like food, like I've had very weird relationships with food in my life.
Because you
And
don't like anything.
no, but it's like it goes beyond that where it's like borderline
True.
eating disorder type thing. It's like I've gone through phases where like I refuse to eat because I'm like no, like for different reasons, like either because I hated my body or because it was like a form of self-harm or like whatever. But I think that's like it's interesting with like the body thing and food because it does again circle around food, and it's like it this whole body like image, and it's like you gotta be like tiny waist and like this and like you gotta have a thigh gap and all these things, and it's like it puts like at least for me it puts like a guilt in my head for when I eat. It's like I spent a long
Does it still do that?
no, because I've just learned not to care. I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy my food. I don't care. But there was a long period of time where, like, I legit could not enjoy a plate of food. And yeah, it's weird how that, like, guilt comes with that. Because it's like, it's food. You should enjoy it. You should be fueling your body, you know? And I see like a lot of people that have like different types of eating disorders or like issues with food and things like that, and it's all based around this like body thing, and it's so stupid. It's like your body is like your machine. It's a machine. You need to fuel it. You need to treat it with love and care, and it's like all you're doing is beating it to shit, and it's like just give yourself a little hug. And like I said in like another episode, it's like imagine you were doing this to like 5-year-old you. Like you would never do this to 5-year-old you. You'd be like, no, you're beautiful. Give her like you'd give her a hug and be like, you're fine, like eat it, like you're beautiful and things like that. So it's like that I use that a lot because it's like you would never do that to a 5-year-old you. It's like ever. If you do, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
not normal. But yeah, like it's so I love how we went from limiting beliefs to like body image and things like that. It always does this.
Well, that's fine. We just roll with it. So do you when you said all this about food and everything, do you remember when you were a little bit younger? I said we were looking in our eyes in the mirror and said, you know, I love you and I accept you. And do you ever do that? No.
I used to, but I didn't really say like I love you and like things like that. I just kind of said like, oh, you don't care. Like that's the reason why I learned how to not care about things like that, like my body or like just tiny things and that would like really
Did
affect
you?
me.
So you never sent it love or your self-love?
No, I mean I do that like on a day-to-day basis. I look at myself and I'm like, damn, I'm hot.
I love it.
But like when I was younger, then I would wake up in the morning and I'd look in the mirror and I'm like, you know what? Today you're not gonna give a shit about any of these small things that would usually give you a mental breakdown. They're not gonna bother you today. And then I just did that every day,
done.
and it kind of just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And you just kind of learn how to like, you know, like that person that gave you a dirty look in the like grocery store. It's like you don't care. It's like whatever, you know.
It's not about you.
Yeah, it's like why should you care what they care?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like everyone has their own opinion.
Yeah, and also that has left me a long time ago because you never know what that person has been through. I remember
the Melanie thing
in Amsterdam. Yeah, I have to tell that story.
Go on. I think about this a lot.
Me
actually.
too,
Yeah.
sometimes, and all the time. Okay, we have, well, you might know that we've been having amazing teacher, Nalini, our beloved teacher, beloved? Yeah.
Yeah. Our
Teacher.
beloved teacher.
No, and we've been so close with her as well, and I see how she interacts in the world, not only going to listen to her in satsang, but actually how she is in the world with other people. So she's taught me how to be in certain ways instead of just reacting and he's fucking in a bad mood.
Yeah.
So me and Dad was in Amsterdam. He was speaking in a conference there, and we went out for lunch just by the two of us, and we were sitting there, and this waiter, he was so grumpy. He was like slow and grumpy and a little bit rude almost. And I thought, my initial reaction inside is like,
what an asshole.
What the fuck is he doing at this job? You know, he should be in a like parking garage or something where there's no people, basically. But then I remember, no, this is not the way I do, because I don't know him. I don't know where he comes from. I don't know what's happened in his life. And I rolled out. And then when he came the next time with our food, and then I went Nalini, I went like, how are you doing? You know, are you okay? Are you not happy today? Or are you too tired? Or like that, like Nalini does. And he just went, no, I'm okay. And I said to Ola, well, he didn't really reply that the way I wanted, you know, he was like that. 5 minutes later, the ambulance comes and picks him up. You know, he was seriously, we don't know what happened, if he had a heart attack or what happened, but the ambulance actually came and picked him up. And we were sitting there on the outside terrace in a restaurant in Amsterdam going, oh my God, you know, something, you know, he was not right. So you never know. You never ever
like,
know.
You have to be aware of the domino effect. It's like, for example, like your boss yells at you. You go home, you yell at your daughter. Your daughter goes and yells at the dog. The dog goes and like kills a rabbit.
It's that chain, isn't it?
It's that domino effect. And it's like, I am aware of that. And it's like, for example, like, one day I can just be so pissed off at everything that happens, and I'm like, I cannot be social today because I'm just going to cause a fight. Yeah. So I just, like, I lock myself in, and it's like, you should be aware of that. It's like, if something is, like, really bothering you on a day,
it's good to be aware of it.
Just try to, like, if you do have to go out and be social, just try to, like, minimize any interactions so it doesn't, like, overboil and cause a scene, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's the domino effect also works with like kindness. It's like,
I was gonna say, good, go on, roll.
Because it's like, for example, like I've seen this happen in my life so many times because you and Dad are like, especially Dad, like he, like I remember when I was a kid, like we didn't have a lot of money and we like gave a lot of it or like most of it or almost all of it to like this like guy that would just sit outside the supermarket.
I was so angry with him at the time.
But then it came back. Like, look at us now, you know?
No, I know. But at the time I was like, how can you give away?
Complete dumbass. Like,
lost money. We got 3 kids in the house.
But anyway, it's like if you give
it works.
A stranger a compliment, they're
pass
like,
it forward.
I feel great, and then they do this. Like, I remember during like my clubbing / party phase, last year, like every time I would always be the one like dancing. Like I'd dance till my legs break, and I remember like just walking up to like random people, and I'm like, you look so good, or like, you are vibing so hard.
I
like,
love
just
that
giving,
you do
like,
that.
random compliments and just leaving. It's like, just sprinkle it in and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Because it's like, just a tiny thing like that. It's like, I know if that happened to me, that'd make my night.
You remember it, right?
Yeah, it'd make my night. And it's such a simple thing to do.
Yeah.
That it's like, it's great.
And also the chain of how things works, that we all are little parts because coming from not thinking that I'm smart enough, I know that my part in that chain, what I do, because I'm practical. And my best and oldest friend, she says, if I had a big company, you would be the first person I hire because you
Yeah.
just are so solution focused. So that's my part. And then the other part is like doing the analytics and
Yeah.
stuff that I can't do. But without, that it's so amazing to see and how it works. Okay, we've
Yeah.
been rambling on. Our time is
Yeah.
up for today.
A lot of different topics today.
Yeah, but good and fun. Really love hearing your thoughts, and I'm very, very proud of you, my dear one.
Cheers. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. Oh, that's the best a mom can hear. Love you. So, shall we start with the 3 grateful things? And
You go first.
Okay.
I did it last time.
I'm very, very grateful for this new house that we're renovating. I am grateful that me and Dad have the same taste in interior design and colors on walls and everything. That would be a little bit tricky otherwise.
Yeah. That'd be like the end of your marriage.
No, we don't fight like that. I'm lucky he's a kind man.
Forgiving.
He's got nothing to forgive. What do you
I'm
mean?
joking.
I know. I'm joking back. Okay, and then I'm grateful that you're in such a beautiful space at the moment. You really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always got like 1,000 things on my mind, but yeah, I mean, I'm chilling.
Yeah. Your turn.
High of the day.
Okay, shall we do them as well? High of the day is that I cancelled our language class. Because
That
I
would have
thought,
been
oh
too
my
much.
God, I'm like, no, because we have a Bahasa Indonesian teacher. And I thought, no, damn, I can't do it today.
Yeah.
So that was the high of day. And when I told Dad, he was like, yes, please. The low of the day is that it's really strange weather. It's been raining on and off all day here in Bali, which is a little bit early. We're going into rainy season, but it's not.
But it's weird because they say the rainy season is like a certain like
November,
it starts
December,
here.
January. It's really...
But, like last year it started like in February.
It carried on through February.
Okay, well, either way, like it's not accurate.
It's tropical. It needs to rain.
Yeah, but it's not like accurate like what they're saying.
Yeah,
I just
true.
like the rain.
The
word of the day.
Okay, the word of the day is rain.
Okay, I am grateful for the rain because it brings me a lot of joy. I don't know why, but gloomy weather just... It's so cozy. I just feel like I want to wrap up in a blanket and just like I can...
It's not that cold though.
No, but even like so, like it just feels like nothing can hurt me when the rain is here. I'm also grateful that we found a house that we can move into because it was weird and stressful for a while. But I got a good feeling on this and it feels secure and safe and like it's gonna be nice and customized to our style and liking.
You can even choose colors on your walls.
Yeah. I'm also grateful that things are coming along even though they're not in the way that we planned them to. Like this was supposed to be done like 4 days ago, but it just kept getting pushed forward.
Yeah.
But it's coming along.
Yeah.
The high of the day is rain. The low of the day was that both the cats were bashing on my door this morning at like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm like, dude, okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
And the word of the day is a furry alarm clock.
Furry alarm clock. Oh, funny. Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you back next time.
If you got any suggestions or if you have a certain opinion about what we said or talked about, or if you want us to talk about something else that you find interesting, then just comment it. And
it's fun for us to read your comments. Then we know we have a little bit of
and
family
it's
around
also
this.
Interesting to hear because everyone has a different opinion about everything.
Yes.
So it's also different.
We learn from each other,
right?
right?
It's interesting to hear other people's views. And
for sure.
Opinions. So
yes,
make sure
yes.
Feel free to open up in the comments.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people feel a little like, no, I don't want to.
No, we love transparency.
We're like, go ahead,
and we can take it. We can take it.
Yeah.
Good and bad. Maybe a little bit more good than bad.
Yeah. Either way. But yeah, thanks for listening, and who knows what we're gonna talk about next.
That's right. Okay, lots of love from us in Bali.
Bye.
Ciao.